we played Kirk Hammett's Fair Festival, and ESP had delivered a bunch of guitars to Kirk to use that day. And I looked at them and went through them before Kirk even showed up. And I had told someone, I'm keeping this one. This one's mine.
An all-new episode of the Mitch, Lafon, and Jeremy White Show.
Tuesday at noon.
Available wherever you stream.
On the anniversary of Eddie Van Halen's passing this year, you posted a really nice little tribute on there with an homage, and he said that he's been immortalized in the song The Years of Death and Dying. Is there also going to be some Eddie homage in the guitar playing on the record, or is that just sort of embedded in you already?
I think there's some of that embedded in me. Just was one of my hugest influences. The first solo I did after his passing, though, was on Lunatic Liar Lord, and there's a little Eddie on that one, I think. But Tom Hunting was working on the lyrics for a long time. It started as a poem about loss, and people we know have lost or just huge influences. And then Eddie passed away, and I said, we have to include him in this. We're able to be that current, on the thing. And so we just, referred to him as the eruption. We didn't want to be blatant obvious,
right,
and shit like that.
So it's like a subtle homage in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And he's one of my heroes. It's gone way too soon.
Well, talk about Eddie a little bit. I mean, what was it about his playing that made you think damn, that's a good player right there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, dude, eruption. Yeah. As a young kid who did not play guitar at all then, the first time I heard it, my brother brought the album home. I'm the youngest of six. And I heard that and I'd never heard whammy bar like that. I mean, the two people who are the reason or the blame that there's a whammy bar in almost all my guitars is Eddie Van Halen and Uli John Roth. Eddie's whammy bar work on the debut album and Scorpions' Virgin Killer. Listen to that song.
That's a great song. Hey, let me just quickly ask you about the Scorpions. You have said in the past that Michael Schenker, Uli John Roth, and Matthias are your heroes or influences.
Three of the big ones, yeah. Michael Schenker's number 2 on my all-time greats list.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I hear Michael and Uli come up a lot, but not a lot of people give credit to Matthias. He's sort of that unsung hero. What about his playing where you go, you know what? I'm going to have to call him out too because he gets ignored a lot.
Yeah.
He gets way ignored. When he came out, for one, he was stepping into some monstrous shadows. Did a great job, on Love Drive. They still had Michael play, most of the solos, and then Blackout came out. And that's when he just said, hold my beer. He just destroyed it, and Love at First Sting and everything. And then, my greatest jealousy of all people in Europe is that you look at Scorpion's set list in Germany, they'd play, 6, 7, 8 Uli Roth era songs, and Matthias would hit and nail every solo. We'd do them all, and we would get Winds of Change and all that. I went on what was supposed to be their final tour, and I was looking at the set list they were playing elsewhere, and
Smoke the Sky, and you're getting Sails of Charon and stuff, and then over here you get.
I didn't get that. Yeah, I did not get Polar Nights. I did not get Virgin Killer. I did not get He's a Woman, She's a Man.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on, They're still Scorpion's greatest German rock band of all time, without a doubt.
Yeah, well, we've got the Wacken 2006 DVD to salivate over because, they pulled out the crazy stuff that time. But
absolutely.
Talk about your guitars. I mean, for the longest time, you're one of the longest ESP endorsers through the years. When everybody's jumped ship to either go to Gibson or Fender or rocking a Jackson or Charvel, you've stuck with ESP. You've stayed there. What is it about those guitars that you just have been in love with for all this time?
Well, I had a detour. I mean, I was with ESP in the 90s when we were doing the reunion with Bailoff. And then, basically almost retired and fell out of sight for a while. And then I was with Schecter for a few years. But then we played Kirk Hammett's Fair Festival, and ESP had delivered a bunch of guitars to Kirk to use that day. And I looked at them and went through them before Kirk even showed up. And I had told someone, I'm keeping this one. This one's mine. And Chris Cannella, who was the head of A&R at ESP at the time, said, yeah, if you just do a greeting for our ESP anniversary video, you can have it. All right, done. You got it, son. and Kirk convinced me. And I went over and like the guitars are amazing. They're the best I've ever played. The consistency is amazing. Like, I could have my tech just, blindfold me and hand me any of them. I'd be happy.
Right.
It doesn't have to I like this one. The other ones are okay, but I have to have this one. Fix it, Play any of them. I play my cheaper models on stage all the time because they're lighter and easier on my bad back. But they're just incredible instruments. Credible people behind the company, as importantly as the quality of the people there. Yeah. And they built me some nut shit, and they don't really bat an eye. All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, all right, we'll do it. It's. I find it interesting because when I think of you play a Les Paul style ESP with a Floyd on it, and the only other three guys I can think of are, Neil Schon, Alex Lifeson, and Brad Gillis are the real only ones that pop in my head, and you really. What is it about?
You just named three of the most badass dudes in the world. Neil Schon is in my top 5 of all guitar players of all time. Who says a Floyd Gibson body can't have a Floyd? It's pretty common now. Yeah. It's not like it was when Brad Gillis had one on his and that's sacrilegious, but wait, listen to what he's doing. Woo. Badass,
Yeah. And it's still a bit of controversy, between Brad and Neil. They're going back and forth. Like, I was the first to do it. No, I was the first to do it. I was the first to do it. So
I'd have to give that to Brad. Sorry, Neil. At least the first I ever saw with a Floyd Rose on a Les Paul.
Yeah. There was a big article.
Brad had taken the ballsy step of taking an actual Les Paul and taking it to someone and saying, cut a giant hole in this for me, please.
Right. Like, it's a freaking Les Paul. Like, that's a tree trunk. Like, who would even think of doing it? And the top of how expensive they are.
Luthiers would say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Why risk it?
Yeah, that's like, someone going to a plastic surgeon and asking to I want the Michael Jackson nose. No, not going to do it. You find someone who will,
Well, they tried to do that to Mitch and look how he turned out.
Yeah, I know. By the way, that liquid metal lava version of yours, of the, what's it called again? The Gary Holt EC, so fucking beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's a stunning paint job. I had a guy send me photos. He had someone had a painter do a pretty good replica of that finish on his chopper. It looked amazing. It's like a show.
Wow, on his bike. Wow.
That's pretty sick.
That's kind of
cool. I got something in the works coming up soon. It's going to be pretty rad.
Nice.
Good. So if we do a video for ESP, will they send us one?
I'll let you shoot them a message on that one.
Yeah. Hi, it's Jeremy and Mitch for ESP. Every other guitar manufacturer sucks, but ESP, man, they rock.
Yeah. I got my newest one hanging up right there. Buckeye
come on, let's see it.
Grab it. Let's see it.
Come on.
Let's see that thing.
Come on, let's see that thing.
Come on. Let's get some wood on the webcam today.
All right.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Ooh, look at that. Wow. Look at that top.
Oh, that looks like the $1 Billion Babies album cover.
Look at that, and look at the back of this thing.
Wow.
Pretty sick.
Neck through. Yeah. Is it a mahogany body?
That's what you call wood.
Yeah. Now, is that a translucent top and it's painted that way, or is that like a paint job?
Top with a green stain. His name is Booger.
Booger, yeah.
Andy Snape said it looks like a bloody booger.
Yeah, it totally does. That looks great. Wow. Hey, talking about this record, I know you've been playing the JCM 800s and all the the Jubilee and all these Marshalls through the years. When you're doing these records these days, is it worth it miking up a real amp, or are you guys going totally digital these days?
No, this is all real amps on this album. There's a couple of little guitar parts on Prescribing Horror that were actually imported from GarageBand on a demo, and they sounded cool, and why fuck with it? But it's all amps, mics, speakers, digital recording is cool. On Blood In, Blood Out, we use the Kempers because I have a profile on my modded Marshall, and we weren't quite set up for miking all this stuff up. And but I don't prefer to work that way because you miss the funnest part of recording, which is the chasing of the tone.
Right. Moving the mics around.
That's my favorite part. And when you get it and you're ready and you got it, you're like, oh, yeah. It's like,
yeah.
And then you're excited and you're fired up and you're feeling it and your hands are creating this like symphony between pickup strings, amp, tubes, speakers, and microphones, and it's awesome. My favorite thing to do.
I guess there really is something to it still. I mean, like that response between the guitar and the speaker and the mic placement on the cone and trying to find those tones. And I guess you can't really recreate that with the Kemper. I mean, you could try and dial it in, but
I mean, the Kemper is a great tool. I use it all the time. But I won't record with it anymore. I just did it once. So then that's always amps and stuff and chasing tone, plug whatever it is into whatever it is to see what works, try anything and everything.
So straight up on this record, it was a 100% organic album. I mean, drums are real, guitars are real.
And a little garage band.
It's killer. We worked hard on it.
An all-new episode of The Mitch Lafon and Jeremy White Show.
Tuesday at noon.
Available wherever you stream.